All right, hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great edition of Racers News Network Live. It's just going to be me hosting tonight. Pete has been in Florida enjoying his spring break. He's going to be bringing back the RV to get ready for the race season. Um, but we have a really cool guest tonight, and I think everybody's going to get a real kick out of talking to the one and only, the modern. We'll call you Jungle Maxine instead of the modern Jungle Pam.
Sure.
Of course, I'm talking about the one and only modern day Jungle Maxine, backup girl extraordinaire. So she's going to be our guest tonight. We're going to I'll try to hear results later on, but I'm looking forward to diving right into the conversation and learning more about Maxine, their racing team. And I know she has plans for her own racing in the not too distant future. So let's get right into it. So welcome, Maxine. Thank you for
Thanks for
taking the time to
having me.
come on and hanging out with us. So let's get right into the bread and butter of the whole thing. Were you always around drag racing, or did you marry into it, so to speak, or just kind
Sure.
of fall into it one day?
So drag racing was never in my background. On weekends I grew up watching IndyCar and NASCAR with my dad and grandpa. So, I have some automotive history background, so to speak. My dad's involved with IndyCar. He's a transport driver and he is a crew guy on one of the cars. But no, drag racing, I married into it. I found my husband and it's been, gosh, I don't even know how long we've been together now. 5, 6 years. um, but I went from 0 to 100% in no time flat. So it's really retaining a lot of information. And I remember early on in our relationship, the guys would go to lunch or dinner or something with other teams, and I would be the only female that would go. But I would just sit in the back, and I would literally just try to soak up so much information because all of these racers are so knowledgeable. I mean, I didn't understand the complexity of like what really goes into it. I just assumed, you put a car together, you throw some fuel in it, and you go. But there's so much science and stuff that goes behind that, and I really wanted to understand all of the different parts of it. I didn't want to just like come in and be like, okay, whoever gets to the finish line first wins, like kind of deal. I wanted to know like step one, like this is what we got to do for this. And so the past 5 years, it's really just been me trying to just fill my brain with all the knowledge on drag racing and cars and engines and fuel and sorry, drop my phone. Stuff of
That's
that
okay.
sort. And so I that's been my background. It's 5 years and I've just kind of dove into it.
Yeah, that's awesome. The outsider, the layperson thinks, yeah, okay, it's easy. You just jump in, you throw your seatbelt on, turn the key, put it in drive, and you go. There's a whole, especially with what you guys run.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a whole hell of a lot more involved
Mhm.
than that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I noticed early on, when I started being involved, I was pregnant with Kinsley right out of the gate when we first ran Mad Max. So Mad Max actually the first time out was ran as a fuel altered, and I was pregnant with my daughter at the time. So I was really hands off then. I didn't know much. I kind of just stood in the background, and then once I had Kinsley, it it actually came up as a joke.
Oop, lost her. Well, hang tight for just a minute. I'm sure she'll be back. Uh, Give me a chance to do what I'm doing here. So while we're waiting for Maxine to come back, you'll have to forgive me. I know it looks like I'm looking at like the floor, but I'm playing around with my new video camera setup. So that's all set up and everything. There she is.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. It's all good.
Anyways, so as I was saying, once I we got started with Mad Max, we ran it as a fuel altered first, and I didn't know too much about it. And then the next season came, and we tore up the wing for the altered, and so Dave's like, "Okay, we're just gonna put a funny car body on it." And so we put the funny car body on it, and we were at a race, and they had a backup girl contest. And so I'm like, interesting. But the winner got $500, and so I'm already missing work. I'm self-employed, so I'm in hospitality, so I'm missing work. I'm not getting any business, and so I saw it as an opportunity. I'm like, okay, I could hang out at the racetrack, have fun, and make money at the same time. And so I picked up on the whole backup girl thing, and what I noticed from the beginning is what the guys don't have a lot of free time when they're working on the car. They're hands on, and it's crunch time. You got to go, 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 especially if you're going rounds. And so fans would come by and they'd have questions about a previous run or questions about the car, stuff like that. And at one point, this guy's like, "Hey, can I talk to either Dave or Ryan? I've got a few questions." And I'm like, "Well, they're busy. I can't pull them away. What do you got?" And so his question involved our burnouts and stuff like that. And so I was able to basically explain it to him why we do a short burnout and keeping heat off the clutch. And I mean, so I explained it to him, and this guy just looks at me like I had like two heads and was like, wow, you really know that. And so then, idea popped in my head again. It's an opportunity. So when fans come by and they have those questions, I'm available to talk to them. And so I make that part of my job. So it's not really just backing the car up or staging the car. I try to be as hands-on as possible.
That's awesome. And you interact with the crowd too in the stands. You're not
Mhm.
just in the pits. I mean, obviously that's a vital part of your job
Sure.
on the team, but you're out interacting with the fans too, kind of getting them hyped up, keeping them involved, keeping them entertained.
Exactly. So I feel like that's a big part of it. I Not to point fingers, but I feel like that's kind of the interaction that NHRA is missing out on. With Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos, like you want your fans to like really enjoy the entire experience. And so if there's an oil down on the track, or if God forbid somebody get into the wall or something, there's a lot of downtime. I'm a mom of four, and I know if I were to bring my kids to the racetrack, they wouldn't sit through that. Like they would be bored to tears. They'd be whining, crying, "Mom, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm tired of sitting here." And so I'm like, you know what? I started off at first doing free T-shirts. Chris Graves is the owner operator of our series. And so he had some merch for us to throw out. And so we had some koozies and some keychains and shirts and stuff. And so I started doing that, and the fans everybody loves free stuff. They really picked up on it. And so when you have free stuff, everybody loves you. And then, of course, I got thinking some more that there's a lot of little kids at the track, and kids are the future of drag racing. And so if the little kids that go to the track now don't fall in love with it, we're not going to have a future in it. So I've geared my freebies mainly towards kids. I've done like little fidget balls and stuff like that are easy to throw, and I can get them up in the stands. But I try to gear it more towards kids just to keep them busy while they're sitting there, and interacting with them. I mean, I jumped a fence at 131 because they were too far away, and I had a big pile of kids there. And so I kicked my shoes off, jumped the fence, and I, went up there and was talking to them and handing stuff out. But I really try to make it a total package as far as like the fan experience goes.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely the fan interaction is something that is lacking in certain places.
Sure.
We,
Yep.
you know,
Absolutely.
yeah. Now, you do this for your husband and for your father-in-law. Is that
Hmm.
correct?
Yes. Yep.
That's cool. That's cool. It's just so it's literally a family operation.
100%. Yeah. So all of our family is involved with it. Even our kids. I mean, Blake, my son, he sells T-shirts if he's at the race. These first few, the kids won't be at because they can't miss that much school. But Blake mans the T-shirt table, and he's the perfect salesman. And Blake's getting ready to start racing as well. But I mean, our girls get involved. They get dressed up. They have blue boots too, and so we really try to make it to where like it is a family affair. I mean, all of our crew guys, they're family to us. And so everybody has their own jobs and everybody helps out. So
That's awesome. Now, you're talking about the boots. From what I can see on your Facebook page, you are incredibly famous for your outfits and especially your boots. Let's
yes.
talk a little bit about the outfits.
Sure. So my outfits, I started off just cheap. I had a Mad Max shirt. I was at the track and I'm like, okay, well, I have my regular plain old Mad Max shirt. And so I cut it down, cut the sides of it. And I just had a regular pair of shorts. I think I had some sequins on my shorts or something. But the blue boots really came out when I put my Mad Max shirt on. I did do an all black. That was my first outfit ever on the track, but when I found the blue boots, I knew that I needed some sort of trademark. Like when fans are up in the stands and I'm the first person that they're going to see. They're not going to see the car first. They're going to see me walking out there first. And it's hard to see. I mean, some tracks, their stands are really far up there. And so from the beginning, I was like, I need a trademark that if people see this, they know that it's me. And so I picked my blue boots. They're bright, they're easy to see, and they're different. As far as I know, I am the only backup girl that does stilettos. Most of them, they're nostalgia, and they do the go-go boots that have like the big chunky heel on it, and
Yeah,
that's not my style. I don't care for them. So I wanted the stiletto heel, and I found the blue boots, and I'm like, I'm gonna stick with it. And so over the course of a few years, I've changed boots. I rotate through them, but they're always blue. Other than I do one race or two races technically, I do a throwback for my all black, and then I have started doing a breast cancer awareness to where I'm all in pink.
very cool.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Now, I will admit I love the blue boots. Blue is my color. I love blue, but black leather with football markings. You look like a badass in that outfit.
That is the most popular outfit that I have. And I have limited that. Also, essentially product in demand. The first time I wore it, it was strange. I tell this story all the time and people don't believe me, but I was not used to attention. I go to the grocery store and I try to look homeless so people don't look at me. And so when I went out for this race, I'm in all black leather, everybody's staring at me. I'm looking around, there's no other backup girls in sight, and I felt like an idiot. Like I'm just walking out there like, Lord help me. And so after that, I decided, once I found my blue boots, I love my blue boots. That's my all-time favorite. But I had so many people go on about that black outfit that I brought it back. And then after I brought it back for the second year, I had several people messaging me wanting to buy the outfit. Um, and people just wanting to put it in shadow boxes with a signed hero card. And I'm in several people's race shops. And so then I brought it back again. And last year, I had somebody contact me and they were like, "Hey, I love this outfit. I have to have it next year. Can I pay you ahead of time and to make sure that I get this outfit next year. It already sold for $1,000 and I haven't even wore it yet. So I did decide to bring it up a second time this year. So I'll have it two different outfits, all black this season. Once will be for the race, opening race in Texas, and then the second time will be for Mocan Dragway.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Now, excuse me. We're out here I'm in the Northeast. I'm in New Hampshire.
Okay.
We're finally getting a chaos event. We're getting the funny car chaos. Now, you guys run Nitro Chaos, am I correct?
So we can run either or. We run Nitro Chaos for lots of reasons. The race schedule being one of them. It's a much smaller schedule. Ryan and Dave are self-employed, so if they're not working, the business isn't making money. So the Nitro Chaos schedule is a lot shorter, less races, and it's not as spread out. As far as the tracks go, we are based out of Northwest Indiana. And so most of the Nitro Chaos series stays pretty central. Obviously, we have our race in Texas, but other than that, it stays basically in the middle. We have dropped in a few times for a few funny car chaos races. We did Cordova one year, and then we've done a couple since then that we've kind of just dropped into. But I don't know that we can convince Dad to do the one East Coast. I don't know. I'd have to look at our schedule and I'd have to convince Dad. But yes, I did see that there was a funny car chaos tentatively, but they need to get a lot more cars signed up. It's hard because a lot of the Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos series, they're all either like mid central or a little bit further. I know we have some people in Oklahoma and some in Texas and stuff like that. There's not a lot of us East Coast. So trying to get
Right.
people to sign up to drive that far is tough. So I know if they don't make car count, then it'll definitely get canceled. So fingers crossed. If you do have a funny car out there, go ahead, sign up for it. It's a really great time.
Well, I know our buddy Jagger Naves is starting to work hard on trying to get people signed up. It's kind of funny because it's almost like we're in a bit of a purgatory out here when it comes to getting what somebody like me considers the cool events,
Hmm.
like Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos and stuff like that. Because I love the throwback stuff. That's what I grew up on. I started going in 78 or 79. So I grew up in a different era of drag racing. And I love the nostalgia stuff, or even
Yeah.
the modern nostalgia stuff. I just think it absolutely is killer.
Yeah, the Funny Car Chaos series and the Nitro Chaos series, honestly, if we didn't have either one of those, our car wouldn't have anywhere to race. I mean, we would just be stuck doing match races. So the rules are much toned back. Essentially, the only rules we have in Nitro Chaos, we have to run at least 80% in the tank, and then we have to have a engine that's in front of us. We did get some top fuel dragsters that came in and crushed it essentially, and so they had to make the rule change on that one to keep our Nitro Chaos people involved with it. But we're an outlaw car. Technically we're a nostalgia bodied funny car, but pretty much nothing else that we run on that car is nostalgia. We get a lot of our hand-me-down parts from Tony Stewart's shop there in Brownsburg. I've been down there several times picking up parts, but essentially, there's no place for us to fit other than Nitro Chaos. So it's a great series, and we're very lucky to have it.
Yeah, everything underneath the carbon fiber or the fiberglass, whatever, is all modern funny car for you guys.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Now, all right, so you're working on starting your own racing program. I've been following that over the last month or so. What made you want to decide to step into your own car? Was it watching everything and going, all right, I've been on the outside. Now it's time to be on the inside. This stuff is awesome.
So honestly, ever since the beginning of my relationship with my husband, he had an old Pontiac Firebird. I'll tell him it's a top sportsman car just to mess with him. But it was a beautiful car, and that's honestly he hooked me in with it. That was I knew my husband years ago, and then we didn't talk for 10 years or so, and then the first picture he sent me was a picture of his blue beadlock wheels in the back of his car. And he's like, I'm on my way. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, those are beautiful. And so I got roped into it right away. But I've always had an obsession with driving. I don't even care what it is. Anything I want to get in it and I want to drive it. And so I've always been that way. And when I got involved with drag racing, obviously Dave and Ryan, they've been doing this 25 years. So I got a lot to catch up on, and so I can't just jump to their caliber. So I knew it was going to be a process that I needed to,
Right.
earn my stripes, so to speak. But Ryan has been blessed enough with his parents that his parents have been able to fund all of his racing career. I don't come from money. My parents never really had a ton of money, so I knew that me trying to get my own car uh, probably wasn't going to happen right out of the gate. Especially with trying to get Ryan's car done and stuff like that. And so I've always had the mentality, especially being the backup girl, that I would rather be in the driver's seat or working on the car than doing what I was doing. And so the first year that I was the backup girl, I was a little salty about it. I'm not gonna lie, I was just a little salty about it because you develop that. Um, I guess the best way to describe it is you develop those people that come up to you and they don't understand that you're more than just that pretty face backing up the car, that you have knowledge of things but looking at it from an outside perspective, looking in, I'm a pretty face. I put on outfits, I go out there, I back the car up, I stage the car, and that's the end of that's my extent of that. And so I detested it for a really long time. Until I got more involved with the fans and stuff. And now I love it. I get fans that come up to me and talk to me and stuff. But starting out, I just wanted to work on that car. I just wanted to touch something. I just wanted to have a purpose. I just wanted to have a job. And driving was always that thought in the back of my head. Like, I just want somebody crazy enough to let me drive their car. And, there's been a few people that have been like, yeah, if you can come up to XYZ and they're all the way on the other side of the country, like, I'll let you drive my car. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. And so last year at Texas, and this is seriously the coolest moment for me doing this whole experience. But I was talking to fans. People come up to me and I have those conversations. I have conversations about the car. I have conversations about people's histories with their car and stuff like that. And so it came up like, why do you do this? Like, why is Mad Maxine? Why did you develop this brand? What is your goal in this? And honestly, my end goal in it was to get in a car. I knew that if I brought this whole brand together, I got popularity, I got people that were behind me thinking I was cool, that I might have that opportunity. And I was talking to Jeff Terry. I had never met that guy in my life. I've never talked to him. And he was talking to me, and I talked to Jeff for, gosh, probably a good 40 minutes. And Jeff leaves, bye, thanks for coming. And Jeff comes back the next day and I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, I didn't know you were going to come back. And he's like, listen, I've got something for you. And he's
Have I
like,
got a deal for you?
exactly. He's like, 2 weeks ago, I bought a front engine dragster, or maybe it was 2 months ago. I don't remember how long it had been, but he's like, I love cars. I love working on them. I have no desire to drive this thing. And he's like, so I've been looking for a driver. Would you be interested? And I'm like brain exploded, like fireworks igniting inside of me.
Oh,
Exactly. I was so excited. And so I'm like, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And so talking to Ryan, like, and Dave on the way home, there's a lot that to be considered in that. You don't know this guy, you don't know how serious this guy is. Basically what they were telling me is like, don't get your hopes up. We obviously support you in this, but don't hold your breath. And then a few weeks later, Jeff sent me a picture of the valve covers for the dragster that he had Mad Maxine engraved in the valve covers. And so,
nice.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is serious. And so a lot of stuff has actually, he completely sold the other car. And then he bought a new car, whole new engine, whole new program going into it. And so it is going to be a blown big block Chevy, which I'm like, great, because before that, it wasn't. And so I only know blower cars, because that's what Ryan and Dave have. And so all of my knowledge on drag racing is centered around that blower. And so especially when I started this, I don't want to just be that hired in driver that just hops in the car and like, woohoo. I want to understand the car. I want to know how to service the car, all of that stuff. And so when Jeff totally did a 180 and switched everything over, then I was like, great. I already have a little bit of background on it. And so, yeah, we've got a new chassis that we're finishing up now. Ronnie Orr and Jeff Terry, and then we have Chuck Anderson working, and I know there probably is a few other people working on that car right now, but they're all putting it together. So I think Jeff is saying final finishing touches essentially. So we're waiting on that. We're waiting on a fire suit.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I saw you you were selling your spots on your fire suit. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that was another thing that really blew me away. There were 16 spots for sponsors on my fire suit, and I was like, well, even if I can just get a few on that suit, like a few's better than none. I filled it up completely, and I could have had opportunities for more. And we might look into it in the future, like going all the way down the backs of my pants and on the fronts of my pants. But yeah, I'm truly blessed to have such great people that back me. Seriously, a wonderful group of people that have like really helped push this and make it a reality.
That's cool. Now, you said one of your kids is going to start racing. Do your other kids have any interest in it, or do they like their sitting back and watch mom and dad do their thing?
So my oldest has zero desire to do anything racing related. A lot of people don't even realize that I do have a 15-year-old, but she hides. She enjoys reading and she enjoys doing her own little thing. But my 10-year-olds are twins. I have a boy and a girl, Blake and Emma. Blake is the one that has the dragster. We actually found Ryan's dragster, junior dragster, from when he ran as a kid, and we repurchased it and we put the old body back on it. And so he's starting off well, but I'm trying to get Emma behind, and I'm like, come on, let's go. And so I think honestly, once he gets his car up and going, and if she gets in that car, if I can just get her in that seat and get her to go down once, I
Good.
think
Good.
I think she'll be hooked. And then the youngest, Kinsley, she's only 4, but she's already planning her junior dragster. She wants to start next year. I don't know how I feel about that. um, but if we buy a car next year and she starts sitting in it and getting used to it and stuff like that, she'll probably start when she's 6. I think I'd feel a little bit more comfortable about that. I know they can start at 5, but that just seems early to me. So,
Right, right.
but she's
Yeah, they
chomping at the bit, man. She's ready to go.
that's awesome. And then you and your husband got to sit there and go, the hell are we going to pay for all of this?
Yes, and that's another thing is we've been blessed on that end too. With sponsors help finding sponsors for junior dragsters is harder than the big car. Trust me. And so people have jumped right on board with it. And Blake's already filling up sponsor spots on his fire suit. His safety equipment, Blake and I both are sponsored by Angry Duck Graphics. So our fire suits will have coordinating matching fire suits. And
That's
so
cool.
we'll be representing Angry Duck Graphics with that. And then like safety equipment and stuff for Blake has been purchased by fans. So honestly, it's been pretty awesome.
That's very, very cool. You know, it's like, you're lucky where you are being in Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis. Um, excuse me. Um, we hear the stories out here of Antron Brown rolling in on like a Wednesday night with a tractor trailer full of juniors to, have for his kids and his his kids' friends and their friends and so the kid down the street and whoever.
Yep.
And that's really cool. We love the junior program. We have a lot of friends out here that are graduates of the program and have went on to the next phase, be it .90 stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's very
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, I'm actually from Brownsburg. And my husband's from Valparaiso, so we met in the middle as far as finding a house. But yeah, there's a lot of drag racing people that are in Brownsburg, and it's really cool because I mean my daughter was in dance, and so we went to her recital, and I just look over and there's Antron Brown. Like and the best part is like if you don't know drag racing, people don't know that he's a big deal. And so my husband and I are like, oh my gosh, look there, look how cool. Like, but people in Brownsburg, they're just like, it's just some guy.
You say that's my neighbor,
Yeah,
you know?
no big deal.
Yeah, that's very cool. Now, one of the last things I want to hit on is you're have become, it seems late, especially lately, very involved in one certain charity that not only affects kids, but from what I've seen on your Facebook pages, adults as well. And of course, I'm talking about bullying.
Hmm.
And you've become very active in a very short time about that. Would you mind talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So when I started this, um, I noticed that there were no women that were doing it to the caliber that I was pushing for. And so that struck me as odd right away. As far as like I was the first backup girl to have my own Facebook page, and pushing the whole backup girl thing, getting outfit sponsors, stuff like that, and nobody else was doing it. And I'm like, why aren't they like, come on, like you guys have been doing this for years. Um, but a lot of it comes back on internet bullies and internet trolls. So my first encounter with that was I was sitting at dinner with my husband, and I had my first viral video from Redline Motorsports Media. So Jerry posted the video, and it hit over 1 million views. And my first mistake was going through the comments. One thing you got to learn early on, especially if you don't have a tough skin, don't read the comments. And so I went through the comments and they were horrible, like way bad. And I'm like, these people don't even know me. Like, why are they saying these things? And it was horrible. I was crying in this restaurant, and my husband's just like, put the phone away, you're done. And at that moment, I'm like, Shannon, you can either quit right now, or you can take this and make it something. Take it and run with it. And I feel like, especially with people online, that they have developed some sort of macho man kind of status. Like, I'm this big,
Yeah.
mighty person. I can say whatever I want on the internet and nothing comes of it. So they can say what they want, and okay, they just keep going, spew their hate, and then nothing becomes of it. And so I'm like, this isn't okay. And I started with my first troll. I screenshotted my response because I'm quick. I'm witty. I'm very witty, and I'm very quick. I'm not polished by any means. I would never make it in the big leagues because I'm not polished. um, but I quick wit, responded to it. I screenshotted it and then I posted it on my Facebook and it took off. And people are laughing hysterically, like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. And so then I posted another one and then I posted another one. And it got to the point where that's why people would follow me, is because they were like, you are hilarious. Like, you should do stand-up comedy. Like, you're exposing these people for what they are, and it's funny. And so the best part about it is like, I guess you could exposing these people. I have found several times where I have posted screenshots of people and I've had people message me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I know this person. I cannot believe that this is what this person is saying." And that's happened a few times. And so that's pretty good with me. I'm like, "Great, like get it out there. Like this person is like terrible." But I mean, I've taken it so far as I dressed up as Steve, one of my internet trolls, for Halloween. And that was a big one too, because I just, my trolls troll, but I troll harder. Is what I've always said. I'm not gonna let somebody like break me down and make me feel horrible about myself, because I wasn't confident until I started doing this. And then once I started doing this, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I look great. I feel great. I look great. Like, and I'm not gonna have somebody tear me down. And so that's why I started fighting back. Like, I I don't let them just lurk in the shadows. I post it for everybody to see, my 22,000 or whatever so followers plus everybody else. And so they get exposed, and then now people have tacked on too, and then they start commenting and going after them as well. But I, thinking about it recently, I had a run in with a person that at one point I trusted as a partner, and it fell through because she was essentially bullying a special needs girl, which just so happens to be one of my racing besties, is what Megan will say. She'll probably watch this if she's not here now, but and so that bothered me to unbelievable extent. It's one thing when people come after me because I have developed the skin to do it, but when you go after somebody that's they can't defend themselves, I have a problem with that. And so after that, uh, my wheels are turning again. Like, what can I do to help alleviate some of this? Well, I can't teach a grown adult not to bully. The adults are stuck in their ways. They do what they want. They're not going to listen to me. They're not going to be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to start being nice now because Maxine told me to." So the internet trolls, they're always going to be there. But children, they're sponges. They can be taught, they can be understanding. And so what I've decided to do is gear all of my efforts towards children, and exposing that. Like, bullying is a huge problem, not only in the US, I'm obviously worldwide, but I know US has issues with kids that really, really, really struggle with it, and they don't know how to process it or what to do. I mean, they go to the schools and complain about it. The schools don't do anything. And then everybody's shocked, like 6 months later, when the child is no longer with us because they just couldn't take it anymore.
Right.
And so I'm really gonna dive into this head first with the kids at the track, talking about bullying, talking about standing up for your friends, and just making them understand that just because, like, if you say something to somebody and you don't take it a certain way, people take things differently. So just because something wouldn't hurt your feelings doesn't necessarily mean that they don't hurt somebody else's feelings. And so I feel
Right.
like kids really need to understand that words hurt. They really do. I mean, heck, I got bullied when I was in school. Like, you wouldn't believe it, but yeah. I was made fun of mainly for my nose. Like that was the big thing that I was picked on for as a kid. And so I was always super self-conscious about my nose, and like it bothered me until I was an adult, and it stayed with me. And thank God, I'm a strong person and I was able to work through those problems, but some kids aren't. They don't have that support system behind them. And so if I'm able to even just influence a few kids just to, hey, you shouldn't say that to this person, leave them alone, like standing up for their friends, standing up for themselves, and just don't be a bully. Like it's not that hard. It's such a simple thing, and kids just, I feel like it needs to be focused on more. I feel like schools don't do enough to push the issue and to really teach the kids like how it affects other children. So I'm going to do my best. I mean, I'm in front of these kids the majority of the time at the racetrack. If there's not cars going down the track, I have kids that follow me around now. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to put it to a better good.
That's awesome. I A number of years ago, for 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, I interviewed 3 or 4 junior dragster racers. And one of the questions that I asked the parent, and I'll pose this question to you as a parent of, junior dragster racers in the making, and as a parent in general, do you see a difference in the kids that are raised at the racetrack versus what we would call normal kids?
100%. Yes. 100%. Um, you know, especially these days with technology and stuff like that, uh, night and day difference. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, these kids, we stay in a motorhome all weekend. We get in our motorhome and we're in there, and the kids learn to take quick showers in the motorhome and stuff like that. But it's not common anymore. These kids just want to play video games and stuff like that. And our kids, especially at the racetrack, they go out, they wander the pits, they make friends. They're still those like outdoorsy kinds of kids. And honestly, I love it so much. Our kids are so filthy when they come home. Like if they're in some other team's pits, and that's the best thing about Nitro Chaos is we're all such a close knit community that such and such's kids will be over there, and then somebody's kids will be over here, and they come back and they don't want to go to bed. Like they're, oh, I dropped the phone again. They're covered in dirt and filth and making mud pies out in the pits, and it's a different breed of child. I will say that. And I'm not going to necessarily say that it's a better child, but I will say that they're definitely more socially interactive, and it's a great place to be. It really is.
Yeah, because not only are you looking out for your kids, but the 10 other racers that are lined up next to you are saying, "Oh, okay, that's Maxine's kids." Oh, okay, they're good. Whatever, and it just goes down the line, and it goes the other way too. Your kids walk by with whoever. Okay, there they are. Oh, okay, yeah, all right, that's their kids. All right, they're cool. They're good.
Yeah,
Versus going.
it's fun. It really is. And one quick story. I believe I was in Mocan. I got in probably about 3 or 4 in the morning. I drove through the night, and I got in, and so everybody got up at like 6 or whatever they were up, and so I slept in. And I hear my kids come in, and they're playing, they're playing, they're playing, and I'm like, okay, like I'm ready to get up. I roll over and there's a little girl in my bed that I had never seen before. And I'm like, hi, what team are you with? And she's like, Bushwhacker. And I'm like, oh, well, hi. And so she's literally under the blankets laying in my bed with me. And I'd never seen her before, but that's how comfortable the kids get. Like it's literally family. And so they know no stranger like in our pits. And it's really cool.
That's awesome. That is very, very cool.
Yep.
All right. So, how about the people that help make your racing program happen?
Gosh, I have a very long list. Um, but definitely, obviously, Jeff Terry for giving me the opportunity with the car. Ronnie Orr for doing the fabrication on the car. I appreciate you so much. My family, um, they're awesome. They 100% believe in me. They support me. My in-laws, they just, I mean, they're the best. My husband is very supportive as well. And then all my sponsors. I have so many sponsors. I can't even name them all right now. There's probably 19. I've even got a donut sponsor for this season, which is funny. But
Oh,
all of my followers, all of my fans, everybody that has made this dream a reality, you guys are the best.
that's awesome. Now, if people want to follow you on Facebook, the internet, whatever, where can they find you?
Sure. So mainly I'm on Facebook. I'm somewhat old school. I have Instagram, I have TikTok. Do I post on there very much? Not really. I feel like I've mastered Facebook and I kind of just hang out there. But Mad Maxine on Facebook, that is my most active page, and it does have a blue check mark now. I know there's a lot of fake pages out there now. Thank you, scammers. But yes, Mad Maxine, blue check mark on Facebook.
That's awesome. Well, listen, Maxine, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out. It was a pleasure to get to know you even more throughout our random conversations we've had over the past month or so. But this was an interview I was definitely looking forward to. Um, Obviously, best of luck with not only your husband's program, but your program, and of course, your kids getting involved in it as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, and we'll follow your adventures. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye bye now. All right, Mad Maxine was our guest tonight. Sure to check her out on Facebook, Mad Maxine. Um, let's see. We have. Let me see if I can dig up the results here real quick from this past weekend at the Four Wides in Vegas. Do. The schedules for tomorrow for the divisional I have posted on our page. Let's see. There's a lot of news dropping today, so please bear with me for just 1 second. Like I said, I'm not actually looking at the floor. I'm just playing with a new video camera. I'm just trying to get it sorted out. So, actually, let's do this. All right. Final results of the 25th annual Four Wide Nationals at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. In top fuel dragster, Tony Stewart over Antron Brown. Funny car, Austin Prock over Paul Lee. Pro stock, Dallas Glenn defeated Matt Hartford. Top alcohol dragster, Sean Cowie over Matt Cummings. Top alcohol funny car, and also going to be racing in Nitro in 2026. Madison Gordon defeated Brian Huff. Comp Eliminator with the bye in the finals, Taylor Cheminsky. Super Stock, Chad Guilford. Stock, Scott Burton. Super Comp, Chris Whitefield. Super Gas, Ken Mostowich. Super Street, Division One racer, Larry Payton. Top Sportsman, Brian White. Top Dragster, Steve Will. So congratulations to all the winners from the Four Wides at Vegas. Like I said, this coming weekend out in Vegas. And actually, our man Bob Bender is staying out there for the divisional race. And I believe Tim and Linda Barrett are as well. Um, Best of luck to them. And Bob is on his U.S. World Tour. So if you see him in the in the Kingswood wagon. Make sure you go over and shake his hand and say hi to him. The nicest guy you'll ever meet in your entire life, next to me, of course. But yeah, Bob is a great, great person. So be sure to say hi to him if you see him. So that is our show for tonight. We will be back with Wayne Del Monte next Tuesday night, and Pete will be back with us. So thank you for tuning in, checking us out. I will be posting this to YouTube ever so shortly for anybody that would like to watch it again. And that's obviously on my personal page and on the RNN Live page. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you all soon.